Right now, I think this is a great question, Goes. You hit a home run with this. I know most of these babies come from you, and I like this one when I read it. I think it was late last night. 3 former UFC champs fight Saturday at UFC Calgary. Who has the best chance of winning? Eddie Alvarez, who fights Dustin Poirier, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who fights Tisha Torres, or Jose Aldo, who fights Jeremy Stephens? You go first, Dan Tom.
This is tough. I'm going to reserve the right to change because my analysis and my articles coming to you on MMA Junkie aren't out or done yet. But my early lean, I'll say Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I'm a big fan of Tisha Torres, so by no means do I want to come off as writing her off. I just feel like Jeremy Stephens is a really tough guy to bounce back from if you're Jose Aldo. You're coming from 2 TKO losses. And as well on the other side of, no matter who you like in Dustin Poirier or Eddie Alvarez, I think that's going to be a tough fight for both guys. They're both barely going to get out of there, So I think, Jędrzejczyk will be my answer.
All right, I'm going to go with Jose Aldo. Well, you're right. It is Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Sure, I was kind of feeling you a little bit.
Well, let me tell you this. Alvarez and Poirier, I feel like it's a flip of the coin. It's one of those where if they fought 10 times, I think it'd be 5-5. I'm picking Poirier. I'll just go on the record right now. We're going to do a video later on regarding this. But I feel like that first fight, Poirier was going to outlast him until we got to the fouls. And not that Alvarez didn't have his moments because he was close to finishing too, But something tells me that Poirier is the one that's going to come out ahead. So I'll just save that for later on. As far as Jędrzejczyk and Torres, it is Jędrzejczyk. I think somebody has her number. It's Thug Rose, Namajunas, and everyone else she's been able to get by. She's been able to get by some great skill sets. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Carla Esparza, Jessica Andrade. I thought Andrade was going to take her out. And I'm just not sure that Torres has the skill set to take out Jędrzejczyk. If she had, I love her speed. I love her hands and the way she explodes, but I think if she had more of that one-punch power like Rose has, then we're talking, but I think Joanna will be able to do it. Now, that said, I also think Jose is going to win, but I think Joanna's the more likely. Goes.
If you told me they were going to have their best performances, each one of those former champions, then I would say Jose Aldo is the one that I would choose. But I don't know that that's going to happen. So I'm looking at the matchups, and I'm thinking Tisha likes to come with these round hooks, and Joanna likes to come straight down the pipe. And I just feel like that's going to happen over and over, so I'm picking Joanna.
Ricky?
When I think about like the different champions that we're looking at, Joanna's been going through a lot. I mean, she has not lost. And coming from coaching different individuals and different champions, I will tell you there's nothing more devastating than when somebody thinks that they are unstoppable and then they get stopped twice in a row. And you lose your title, you lose your respect. Do you lose your self-respect? Do you lose what drives you inside the cage? That's really what I see Joanna has to win in this fight. Is she has to put a stop to the fact that she has lost. And she has to make sure that it is not in her mindset that not that it is, but could be a loser. And sometimes fighters take losses way too personally. These losses happen in a tenth of a second. And I think that's where Joanna could be in big trouble here. She is fighting a very tough opponent, but she just lost twice, and she may not be training and thinking the same way that she was when she was the champion, before Rose dropped her. You go in, you train because you're having a fun time. You go in because you enjoy training. You go in because of certain reasons. And you act a certain way, and you work a certain way, and your whole world is a certain way. Now, when she walks into a room, she gets looked at differently. Maybe somebody pities her when she walks in to train, or her family says something, or it's always being brought up. You got to go out there and re-show the world. Those things really add up in a fight camp. So for Joanna, I think she has a much tougher fight on her hands than what we're looking at in the past. I think she has to overcome her own self to win this fight, and I hope she does. I really hope she does. I am going to pick Jose because he's already been through the ups and downs. I think Jeremy Stephens is an unbelievable fighter. I mean, I worked with him out in Iowa back in 2007, That's how long this guy has been running around. I mean, he is incredible. But I do think that Jose has the better shot because I think mentally, with how his camp has already cycled, they already ran through those problems of losing a head coach, then him coming back, then people retiring, then them coming back. They've kind of found homeostasis again. I don't think Joanna is in homeostasis. She's trying to find it, and I hope she does. But I think the odds are against her.
All right, there you have it. There's today's daily debate. Interesting things you brought up there. Here are the results. 1,816 of you voted. 66% said Joanna Jędrzejczyk. 20% said Eddie Alvarez. And surprisingly, 14% said Jose Aldo, which shocks me because, look, Max Holloway's a beast. I don't want to take anything away from him. But Jose still fought well in that second fight. I had seen some amazing things from Jose that I hadn't seen in years, and I almost felt like Jose could take out anyone. But on that particular night, which was Max Holloway, I'm expecting to see the same thing. It's like a little bit of hunger is back, so that shocks me a little bit. But anyway, the results are what they are.